Hey folks, I'm Anand and welcome to MaverickEduCor, your one-stop solution for everything related to PTE. We at MaverickEduCor make sure that you get one-on-one classes with individual attention. So make sure to contact us on the WhatsApp number or on the email ID mentioned right below. Additionally, for folks who have not got their desired scores, can contact us too for free consultation on the skills and more insights about what went wrong in their exam. Now, without a further ado, let's go ahead and look at today's video. In today's video, let's discuss more details on summarized spoken text, which is part of your listening module. It is the first question in your listening module. Additionally, it is very similar to retell lecture. The only difference is it will offer you marks for writing and listening. On the other hand, remember, it is a fairly important question in comparison to write from dictation and listening fill in the blanks. Let's look at the basic details of summarized spoken text. First and foremost, what needs to be done? PTE says that we will be playing you an audio recording. You will have to write a summary on it after listening to the audio in about 50 to 70 words. As simple as it gets, for 1 to 2 such questions. Coming to the overall time that you can consume per summarized spoken text question is 10 minutes. This is including the audio recording that PTE plays you for approximately about 60 to 90 seconds. Now let's look at a representational image of summarized spoken text. As I had mentioned earlier, PTE will play an audio. This is the audio player where PTE will be playing the audio. Based on the audio, you will have to come up with a summary with about 50 to 70 words. Overall, you will have about 10 minutes of time to complete this entire task. That is, per question, you will get 10 minutes. Once you complete writing your response here in about 50 to 70 words, go ahead and click next for the next question type in your exam. Now let's look at the skills assessed by PTE for summarized spoken text. PTE will assess your listening skill and your writing skill as this is an integrated task. You will be getting marks for listening module and writing module. For listening, PTE will measure your content. For writing, PTE will measure your form, grammar, vocabulary, and spelling. Now, coming to each skill and how many marks they are scored. So, each skill for content, form, grammar, vocabulary, and spelling, you will approximately get about 0 to 2 marks. You will understand all of this in detail in the upcoming slides. Now, coming to the overall marks that you can score for summarized spoken text is about 8 to 10 marks respectively for your listening module and writing module. That is the reason I had told it is a fairly important question in your listening module. After write from dictation, listening fill in the blanks, third comes your summarized spoken text. Now let's look at the do's for your summarized spoken text question. Most of the do's that I would be mentioning here will still be valid for retell lecture as well. The only difference between retell lecture and summarized spoken text is the skills. In summarized spoken text, as I had mentioned earlier, they will assess your listening and writing, whereas retell lecture, they will assess your speaking and listening skills. Now let's look at the do's for summarized spoken text. The first and foremost, write enough content in your scribble pad legibly and clearly so that you can understand your own handwriting. It is very, very important because you are capturing a lot of content in your scribble pad. Next, do not deviate from the lecture topic. If it is talking about mechanical engineering, write about mechanical engineering as to what the lecture is speaking about. Don't write about something related to the field of medicine. PTE will not give you marks. Next, employ listen, write methodology to capture phrases from the audio. This I have told you in the retell lecture video as well. Go ahead and look at that video for more insights. Next, your answer must be split into multiple sentences, unlike summarized written text. In summarized written text, you will be writing in one single sentence. Here, you are splitting your entire response into multiple sentences with about 60 to 65 words preferably. This is what we recommend you to write, whereas PTE says that your response must be between 50 to 70 words. Now, write grammatically correct sentences. If include all the punctuations, articles, and prepositions at the right places. When you're constructing multiple sentences, you need to make sure that you keep a full stop after you complete each sentence and use proper punctuations as well if you are writing a complex or a compound sentence in your entire response. Next, use the template that I will provide you in the couple of minutes from now to maintain your structure and coherence. By doing so, you will end up getting good amount of marks. Let's discuss the most important do of your summarized spoken text question. It is nothing but proofreading your entire response. Set aside about 2 to 3 minutes of time to proofread your entire response for any errors such as spelling, grammatical errors, vocabulary, and form. You need to write between 50 to 70 words, so make sure to write between 60 to 65 words as I had recommended. Now, check for spelling errors. PTE will not pair marks if you are doing spelling mistakes. On the other hand, punctuation is equally important. If you don't put proper commas or full stops in the right places, PTE will deduct you marks. Last but not the least, one pro tip to give you is you can write in any order of the lecture that you have listened. No need to think that you will have to write the introduction part in the introductory sentence and the conclusion part in the conclusion sentence itself. Absolutely no need of it. You can maintain any order while writing your response. So these are the do's for summarized spoken text question. Let's understand the don'ts for summarized spoken text question. First and foremost, avoid writing a huge template where you will be filling just 1 or 2 keywords or important words according to you. Instead, capture those phrases in the response so that the help of the template, you will be able to fill good amount of content by maintaining your structure and coherence. Next, don't write less than 50 words or more than 70 words. PTE will not evaluate your entire answer at all. Instead, as I had recommended earlier, you need to write between 60 to 65 words only. That will be more than sufficient, including the template. Next, arriving at a logical summary is not at all mandatory. Instead, PTE will look only for grammar rules, whether you are sticking to the form, punctuations, spellings, and vocabulary with the content. Only then PTE will award you good amount of marks for your response. Last but not the least, avoid the usage of jargons or complex words. You will end up conveying a very different meaning in terms of vocabulary and in terms of spellings. You may type incorrect spelling. So avoid doing this particular mistake at any cost. So these are the don'ts for summarized spoken text question. Moving ahead, let's understand the method and the template. But first, I had mentioned you that you need to write down phrases to capture good amount of content. Let's understand what is a phrase first. It means group of 3 to 4 words from the sentence that can function as a meaningful unit. This is the definition of phrase. Coming to sentence, group of words with about 6 to 12 words with multiple phrases. That is what is a definition of sentence. Now let me give you a quick example over here itself. This is a sentence. What happens if you break this down into multiple pieces? Each piece will become a phrase. Phrase 1, phrase 2, and phrase 3. If you combine all of these phrases, you will get a sentence. So this is how a phrase and a sentence is categorized. Now let's look at the template. Our template already offers you the structure and coherence that you need to maintain to score good amount of marks in your response. On the other hand, you need to fill in your phrases in these respective places so that you will get a complete answer. Now, this template already has about 30 to 33 words. You need to key in another 30 to 33 words in terms of phrases that you have written down in the scribble pad. So make sure to do it. Total, you will get about 60 to 66 words as a good response. That is in the range of 50 to 70 as prescribed by PTE. But we recommend you to write anywhere between 60 to 65 words. That is more than sufficient as a response. So make sure to memorize this template and fill in your phrases in the respective places. Alright folks, it's time to look at a demo. Here, I will be playing you an audio. While listening to the audio, you can capture content in the form of phrases. Once you have done that, I will demonstrate and show you how you can utilize the content with the help of the template and come up with a grammatically correct response for this particular question. All right, folks, I'll be starting to play the audio in 3, 2, 1, go.
Government policy aimed at reducing traffic incidents focuses on a multifaceted approach that addresses road safety, infrastructure improvement, and public awareness. One key strategy is the implementation of stricter traffic laws such as lower speed limits and enhanced penalties for violations like driving under the influence. These laws are often accompanied by increased law enforcement presence, particularly in high traffic areas, to ensure compliance and deter reckless driving behavior. In addition to regulatory measures, investments in infrastructure play a crucial role in improving road safety. This includes the construction of safer road designs such as roundabouts and pedestrian crossings, which help minimize collision risks. Expanding public transportation options also reduces the number of vehicles on the road, thus lowering the likelihood of accidents. Public awareness campaigns are essential to educate drivers about safe driving practices and the importance of following traffic regulations. These campaigns often leverage social media and community outreach programs to reach a broader audience. Ultimately, a comprehensive government policy that combines law enforcement, infrastructure improvements, and public education is vital for effectively reducing traffic incidents and enhancing overall road safety.
While listening to the audio, I have also written down some phrases. I have employed listen, write methodology to capture this amount of content. On the other hand, I have used simple words as much as possible while listening to the audio. You can also follow this method to capture good amount of content. So this is my response. Whatever text you see in black is the template and whatever text you see in red is my response. Overall, by combining all the words that I have captured in terms of phrases, I have written about 65 to 68 words, which is absolutely fine. For example, I have slightly tweaked my response while combining it with the template, meaning whatever phrases I've written down, I've slightly tweaked them. Over here, if you can see, the lecture gave important information about reducing traffic incidents for better road safety. I have added few words over here for better road safety. If I just write this particular phrase telling that reducing traffic incident road safety, it will not make any sense and it will be grammatically incorrect. So to make it a grammatically correct sentence, I have added the words for better road safety. Next, here in this particular sentence, the speaker also described facts related to safer roads by expanding public transport to reduce traffic. Here I've combined these two phrases to make it into one big sentence. So over here, if you can see, safer roads by expanding. To make it grammatically correct, I have added the word by expanding public transport to reduce traffic. I have completely eliminated the word cars. Absolutely no problem because I'm still sticking to the context of the lecture itself. So this is how you can also come up with a response for the summarized spoken text question. Now that you've understood all the details of summarized spoken text, let's quickly revise it in the golden rules. First and foremost, write grammatically correct sentences with about 60 to 65 words, but not more than 70 words or not less than 50 words. PTE will not consider this response at all. It will straight away give you 0 marks if you write more than 70 words and less than 50 words. So a good response should contain anywhere between 60 to 65 words. Next, employ listen, write methodology to write at least good 6 phrases with about 3 to 5 words in each phrase. I have already explained you in detail in the retail lecture video, so I would recommend you to go and look at that video as well. Next, use conjunctions and punctuations to form a complex or a compound sentence. Already our template is offering you a proper structure and coherence. You can further tweak your response to come up with a grammatically correct sentence. So that is why make sure to use proper punctuations or conjunctions while writing your phrases by filling in the template. Next, spelling, grammar and form should always be your highest priority. Never forget this. If you make spelling errors or grammatically errors, PTE will start reducing a lot of marks. Next, combine your notes with the memorized template. So this is the easiest way that you can come up with a good response. Next, never forget to proofread your response. You'll have overall time of 10 minutes to complete your response for summarized spoken text. Spare 2 to 3 minutes of time to check all the errors related to spelling, grammar, or vocabulary. Never submit your answer without proofreading your response. Last but not the least, never use any grammar assisting tools. Instead, use Notepad while you are practicing this particular question. It will help you in the exam. In the exam, PTE software will not have grammar assisting or spelling assisting tool embedded within the software. So you will have to write correct spelling and grammatically correct sentences. So I would recommend you to use Notepad for this particular question. Alright folks, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you have understood all the details with regards to summarized spoken text. In case of any doubts or any queries, make sure to contact us on the WhatsApp number or on the email ID mentioned right below. We will be more than happy to help you. I'm wishing you all the very best for your exams, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such engaging videos.